Well, this is going to be interesting.
Hi, my name is Mark Monlux, and you're watching yet another episode of Epic Sketch Time. I'm having some video difficulties, but with me today are both Bill and Ian. I live in Tacoma, Washington, where I'm a freelance illustrator, and you can find me on Instagram at Mark Monlux and read my movie reviews there where I draw them in cartoon format. Bill, why don't you introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Bill Morse. I'm a cartoonist and illustrator working in Seattle, Washington. And I also do a webcomic called Rhapsodies, which you can find at rhapsodies.wpmorse.com.
And howdy, everybody. My name is Ian. You can check out my stuff at unfedartist.com. I'm an illustrator, cartoonist, and graphic designer working out of Arizona.
This last weekend, I did the Bellingham comic book convention, which is a little one-day show. Went very well. It's unique in one-day shows in that it's an extremely small venue. It has a relatively low attendance between 3,000 and 4,000 people. But they come, they drop their wallets, and everybody knows to bring their very best stuff. You know how a lot of comic book stores, they'll bring everything they can fit in the trunk.
Mm-hmm.
At this event, what they bring is the top selling items, the gold and the silver, because they know that the people coming to this convention, they're looking for the really rare stuff. And because of that reputation, this show does a pretty good job. And next weekend will be the Jet City Comic Book Show, which is held here in Tacoma for 2 days. The week following that will in Puyallup is the Puyallup Toy Show. So that's held by the same guy who does the Washington State Summer Con, but he's stripped it down to just vendors, no special guests, no celebrities, just an orientation on toys that he first started with. And this seems to be a trend because the guy who does the Bellingham show, he's going to be doing a new show at the same location in April, but he's not planning on coordinating a costume contest, and he's not planning on having any special guests. And the reason he's doing that is so that he can free up his time so that he can actually vend for a change.
Nice.
What do you guys have any shows in line?
Regrettably, I can't go to Jet City even if I wanted to. And nothing else beyond that.
No shows for me. I was actually attending Phoenix Design Week this past week, which is why I didn't get much done aside from client work. But they had a conference that lasted over the weekend, and then the rest. Oh, sorry, I got to sneeze. The rest of the events kind of like scatter throughout the week at different locations. So I was pretty burned out. I wasn't getting much sleep, but it was good just to kind of mix around with that crowd. It would have been nicer to hang out with some comic people, but I'll have to take a look. I think coming up in January is the next like big local Phoenix event, but a lot of the libraries and stuff have been holding their own kind of independent kind of comic things, which if I remember aren't huge draws. It's usually like one or two artists has a table, but it's still a nice way to kind of connect with people.
Yeah, I think that would have gone well. I mean, the comic scene at libraries is increasing exponentially. I mean, it's almost funny. There's so many comics these days at least the Seattle library, where the only disadvantage is sort of figuring out whether the title you're looking for is in the art section or in the young adult section. And then they've moved a lot of the separated, even by that standard, they've recently separated the graphic novels from the comic strip collections.
It's been a while since I've checked out my library's comic collection. I'll have to do that. I remember I first came across, is it Alan Moore, Top 10?
Yes.
I found that in the library, and it was just like, whoa, that story, the artist who
Gene Ha is one of the
Gene
great.
Ha,
The only
yeah.
thing I can say against him is he's not very good at drawing children. But then again,
I remember you saying that before. Yeah.
A lot of artists, a lot of comic artists have that trouble, so I'm not really faulting him.
I wonder why that is. I mean, it's not like he's, and I'm not picturing his kids, but you've said that consistently enough over the course of the show that I've been on it that I clearly remember you saying that before. So I mean, why can't an artist of Gene Ha's caliber improve his children?
I think
or is it even like that big on his to-do list? Like maybe he thinks his children are fine, but everybody else is like getting on
I
his
think
case
it's
for no
I think that's exactly it, supply and demand.
yeah.
Well, I don't think I draw children very well, but I don't have much of a need to draw them very often either. So I don't mind if they look like a sack of potatoes, which is just how I also draw my women.
Like a sack of potatoes.
Yeah, I go for the Far Side look.
Oh, yeah. I'm gonna have to. Well, I guess it's on my mind now. I'm gonna have to type in Gene Ha children and see what that looks like.
The best example of what I'm talking about is the top 10 episode with Santa Claus, which I believe is either issue 6 or issue 7.
Okay. Huh. Let's break into the Google.
I think what happened on my Zoom is that Zoom is a website that for some reason my system didn't acknowledge as having camera availability. And when I was logging in, it didn't give the approval for the camera. So I think I might be stuck with the microphone this week.
Oh dear.
Well, I'm okay resetting if you want.
No, I'm good. I wasn't going to be doing much screen sharing anyway. I was just going to be asking you guys questions, and maybe showing off Inktober.
Oh
images.
Yes, fine. I'm pretty pleased with myself with 1 or 2 exceptions.
I guess what I can do is I can share my screen of your Facebook feed or something if you want to talk about your stuff, Mark.
Can you go to my Instagram account?
Yeah, I guess. Jeez.
Oh, what? You want the Facebook feed instead?
No, it's fine. Mark Monlux. All right, let me just jump to the camera here and let's see.
But anyway, where were we last with Inktober?
All right, so get rid of my face, and what would you? How do I present?
Go down to the one that's I would say number 7 down. I think that pretty much picks up from last week. Yeah, let's start there.
Okay, and how do I present? So even while you're talking, I'm
just go ahead and. How do you present?
Yeah.
You go and select. You go. How do you? I don't have the option to tell you how to screen share because all I got is the audio show. Bill, how do you?
Well, you were screen sharing just fine just then, weren't you?
Well, while he talks, it goes to his face icon. It doesn't show me. So that's what I want to try to stop. How do you usually do it, Bill, when you do your presentation?
Well, I've been showing the original, so it's the camera.
No, I mean, where's your button for doing a screen share? I just forgot.
Right. Just a
Oh,
second.
wait a minute. It should be down in the middle of your screen.
Yeah.
Oh, the green share button?
Yes.
Yeah, click on that.
Okay.
Okay, now that has it locked in. Well, no, it hasn't yet. But
Okay. So now you should only see my web browser showing Mark's Instagram feed, right?
yeah, that's how. And we're not getting it. Hopefully that will work.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Talk
and,
away, Mark. What do you got?
Go ahead and enlarge that image.
How do you do that?
Control plus.
Control plus. Whoa.
Double click on it. Okay, there you go. So this is number 15, Firelight. If you click on that little right arrow. Oh, try the left arrow, sorry.
Other right. Okay.
If you will notice there's some code down at the bottom. And this is a code that the various CLAW members use. I posted this on my Facebook page. And I think it says, it's just an owl.
Like it.
Go ahead and click on the next one. Yeah, this was really easy. I just quickly drew an outline and just filled it in on the computer. I didn't bother doing big swaths of inking. Also, I wanted to have a nice, you know, duplicate on the other side.
I'm just going to show our viewing audience how they should react to this. There we go. All right. Next one.
The code says it's a movie, and the date is a 1980s horror film, which if you haven't seen, it holds up pretty well.
Next, or?
Oh yeah, next.
Okay.
The text says, the skull's scream is silent. So.
Are the teeth actually inscribed with the secret language, or is that just kind of?
That secret language is in the space inside the mouth.
Okay, but those little things on the teeth, those are just.
No, those are just, you know, random doodles.
Okay.
Oh, now I can read the code. It says through the trees.
It almost looks like a pen and ink version of a Bauer painting, I remember.
Very cool.
And this is today's, which was Grotto. Ian, I'm getting a highlight on my face. Oh, it says do not disturb.
Oh, nice.
Oh,
right.
Yes.
So I will stop presenting, unless there's anything else you'd like me to show.
Nope,
Mark?
that's what I've done in the last week. Thanks for doing that, Ian.
Oh yeah, no problem.
Okay. So you probably have seen this thing, but since Mark's starting at 15, I might as well do that as well. So starting with 15, we have Legend, which they didn't say what legend, but so I decided to go with Flying Dutchman. And then next one is Wild, with the Wolfpack. After that, we have Snow and Dragon.
How long are you spending on these, Bill? Is it
About a half an hour to 45 minutes.
Good God, man?
Yeah, I try to spend like
when you're done. Or,
I spend 15 minutes on mine. Sorry.
Okay.
Well, I mean, the work shows, but even still, like I don't think I could do the same in as little time as you've done yours. Kudos. Well done.
Ornament and misfit. Sling and tread.
Are you laying down pencils before you start these, or?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I wish I were that good. Treasure and ghost.
I like ghost.
Oh, thank you. Figured I'd already done a ghost with sling, and so I went with La Llorona. And finally, ancient and dizzy.
Dizzy Gillespie. Nice.
Which makes 3 ghosts in the series. And that's my progress so far.
And not all of these are on Instagram. I'm looking at your feed.
Yeah, I'm a little ahead so that my busy weekend won't interfere with anything. And oh boy, it's already messing me up a little bit.
So tell us about what you're going to be doing this weekend, Bill.
I'm going to Charlotte, North Carolina, where I'm the secretary for the Graphic Artists Guild. And at the moment, I'm in the annoying paranoid pre-trip stage, which generally does a number on my productivity, especially because I have to be out the door at an insanely early hour. I've been adjusting to Eastern time early, which is oh so much fun.
Yeah, how many hours are they? Are they like 4 hours?
3.
3? That's
Yeah.
not too bad.
No, but it feels kind of weird because essentially you're waking up early but at the same time you're still even though you're in the different times, you're in the same schedule. So it comes towards time for breakfast and you're going, dude, you may think this is the time it normally is, but technically this is mid-morning for you.
Right. How long is that flight out there?
5 hours apparently.
Yeah. Is it direct or?
Yeah, which is one.
No, that's not too bad.
That's a small blessing.
Are you
And
going in through Newark or wait a minute? No, you said it wasn't New York. You were going to, where was it again?
Charlotte. And so at the moment for reasons I do not understand, they're sending us the book at the very last day, which kind of irks me because it's yet another thing that could go wrong at the last minute.
Yeah, when it's down to that short of time, I don't see why they just don't ship it to the event. I mean, it's not like you're going to have a chance to read it.
I'll have 5 hours to read it, but yeah.
Why don't they just do a digital book? That kind of bothers me.
It's because it includes stuff like includes stuff like the subway passes. I mean, it has in the past.
Well, I mean, they didn't give out the books last year beforehand. We got them when we showed up, right?
I got it. I got mine mailed to me.
Oh well, I got mine in New York when I showed up. So
although admittedly you had been recruited at the last minute.
Yeah, I was an alternate pulled off the bench, but yeah, I mean, did we even have? I bought my own. Anyway, it's not the most thrilling conversation. So, are you excited about it, or?
Oh yeah, always. But at the same time, it's sort of it's bizarre. It's sort of like I'm not as neurotic as I used to be, but it's sort of like this is one of those things that has me having worst case scenarios run through my head until I'm actually in the plane.
Well, what exactly are you worried about?
Oh, it's nothing I can't talk myself down on, and it's just the usual, just being uneasy about random factors.
Yeah, okay. I mean, it seems like the conferences are pretty laid back.
Oh, extremely. I mean, admittedly, I get a little stressed out because I'm the poor schmuck who's taking notes. But
right. Have you seen the new Google Pixel phone? Like it has a basically a stenographer in it, so it will record the audio, and it will also like write out the captions, like during meetings and stuff. I guess multiple people kind of throw it off, but it's still basically, you know, a courtroom stenographer just on your phone now.
nice. I mean, I hadn't heard of that one, but I have one called Otter, which comes in really handy.
Okay.
Though, admittedly, it's unless I want to start paying for it, it's only good for 8 hours a month, which the guild meeting is the only time when that need comes up.
Hmm. Is there anything about the upcoming guild meeting that you're allowed to kind of let us know is going to be discussed, or is it all kind of wait until afterwards when?
I think it's mostly the usual stuff. I mean, nothing I'd heard about, nothing specific I'd heard about. I mean, there's a few, the only things that unless we're going to be talking about the aftermath of the Case Act, whichever way it goes tomorrow, the only thing I can think of that will definitely come up that I would probably consider confidential. And incidentally, everybody call their congressperson about the Case Act before noon Eastern time tomorrow.
And just to remind everybody what's happening.
Yeah, essentially, it's a copyright reform bill that the guild has been working on for over 2 years. We've got a lot of supporters, but at the same time, there's a lot of big money that's trying to step on it.
And what's the key thing that's happening tomorrow?
The vote.
In the House? Like
yes.
It's a floor vote?
Yep. Hence why you need to call them before noon.
Now, I believe my congressman is actually one of the sponsors on the bill, so I'm not too worried about it.
Same here, but I'm trying to do everything I can to feel like I've done something. So,
the guild sent out a little promotional thing where you can download a little banner and hold it up and do a selfie and put yourself out on social media that way, saying, I support such and so bill. Try to get a little bit more of the viral movement going.
I posted mine this morning.
Well, once again, I did not go and buy Zoom or start my subscription. I've just been so lax about that. I'm sorry, guys. So this.
Oh, no worries. It's probably a good thing concerning or given what's happening today with your video feed. I don't think I'd want to pay for that. But
yeah, I'm sure it's just a technical difficulty that'll cure itself upon startup. And if I spent a little bit more time, I came in at the last minute and had set it up so that you guys could be in a waiting room, and I hadn't done that for a while.
And I'm wondering, that worked. I was worried that might have screwed up the camera for you.
No, but who knows? Maybe that did screw up the camera. I'm also working with a computer that's like 12 years old. It's basically one of those old Mac cheese graters.
Mm-hmm.
And my video camera, the monitor I have is so old that it never came with a camera in it. And so it's like a little $30 thing I bought at Fred Meyer's, a little Logitech camera that just sits on top of my laptop. Now what I could try doing next week is using my laptop. I'm upgrading all the systems on my laptop, or rather I was going to, then I realized, oh, if I upgrade it, I might not be able to use some of the software. Like, I mainly use it for Word right now. And I'll have to get an upgrade version of Word, but that's fairly inexpensive. You can usually get Word for under $100.
Yeah.
I noticed that you're drawing a car in your strip today, Ian.
Mm-hmm.
Did you trace a visual reference for that?
No, I freehanded just looking at a photo. I've been trying to do things quickly, so I'm one of those people who just like if I have a photo, I don't really need to, do a what's the word, white box or anything like that. Like it's one of the nice things that I picked up from school. I mean, I look at the source photo right now and I could see I made some mistakes, but it's good enough for, trying to get something in quickly. So it's just like I said, one of the benefits of going to school and just, drawing from reference for so much, you kind of just get the ruler stuck in your head. So, I mean, occasionally I'll still do that pencil thing, and just try to make sure everything lines up and everything. But like I said, for this, it's not that important. So
I know what you mean. I'm mostly good at doing that, though. There's a few things where it's the ability escapes me, like horses.
Yeah, my illustration course when I started grad school, that was the first time I actually used a plumb line to get the vertical, and before then I was just kind of like, loosely trying to match things up, but having like a couple semesters where it's just beating into your head, the proportions and the distances from everything, and like, okay, that headlight is directly to the left of the front tire and all that stuff, and you just kind of start seeing everything in like these imaginary grid lines. Like I said, I missed a few things, but once you start thinking that way, it definitely turns you into a better artist when it comes to trying to draft things realistically. And there's always room for improvement, like I said, but I mean, some people, I've seen amazing things where people just don't have any reference at all and they just start drawing and it's just like spot on. But usually I have to lay like a scaffolding down where I'll lay my reference lines. But again, for this, I was just trying to do something really quick. Right now, how are we doing on time? Oh, we got 5 minutes. So I am trying to use this coloring feature in Clip Studio. I'm not getting the best results, but see how it works.
Is that the AI one they've been plugging?
Yeah. I mean, I'm hoping it turns out really well in the future, but right now it's kind of spotty. But yeah, that was just a big bunch of nothing right there. So I had a little bit better results when I wonder what this looks like if I pull this up. Yeah, it's just a bunch of nothing. If you give it some prompt.
Mm-hmm.
And say, oh, use this and do this here and everything, I had a little bit better result and see how that works. But I don't think I have enough time before Epic Sketch Time is finished. So, well, definitely pass my regards to everybody in the guild when you see them this weekend, Bill. And, best of luck to you guys. I hope everything goes off without a hitch. And
I kind of expected you to go to the convention this year, Ian.
No, I'm not volunteering anymore. which
I can completely understand that. I volunteered for about 20 years for the guild, and after you've done your time, you kind of want to sit back and relax for a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, and I don't really think I did my time necessarily. It was just circumstances weren't really ideal for me continuing to commit time, which I get the sense that I didn't leave anybody thinking, oh, thank God he's going, which is good.
Your data crunching skills were very much appreciated.
Yeah. I mean, if there's one thing, it was only about 6 months, but I was definitely focused on trying to help as much as I can. So I hope there's still progress being continued on the things that I started.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, some of the stuff I was just you kind of had to leave it right in the middle, and it was a little disappointing. But c'est la vie. I just had other responsibilities, but one of these days maybe I can jump back in, and who knows, we'll see. But for the time being, it was very very welcome to free up that time, and I almost like felt it, like it was just like the lack of that extra responsibility is like, oh, finally. Because sometimes you're just so eager to please that you don't realize that you're kind of like swamping yourself. So
yeah, one of the things I had to learn to do when I was involved for so many years was to really limit the amount of hours, because your sense of altruism just kicks in, and you just want to spend more time doing more work because it's actually having a long-term effect. And
I frequently find the fact that I'm the guy taking notes, I find that I am able to be relatively subjective about the whole thing, not objective about the whole thing, i.e. being the neutral party, but perhaps that's just a cop-out.
And how long have you guys been members of the guild?
I have been a member of the Graphic Artists Guild since either 1986 or 1987. I joined somewhere in that. Well, actually, I joined the SPGA, and then I was also a member of. I became a member of the Graphic Artists Guild when the SPGA became the Western chapter, and that happened sometime in the early 90s. How about you, Bill? How long have you been a member?
Ooh, somewhere in the late 90s, I think. Might have been later than that. I'd have to look it up.